Good morning, viewers. You are watching Digital Campus, where we are going to discuss and explore the future of education, in institutions of higher learning in Zimbabwe and across the globe. Today, I'm joined by Salim Bare, who is going to help us understand or get into an in-depth analysis of the complexities surrounding the online education, the prevailing trends in the education sector. Salim, greet the viewers.
A good day to you all, our dear viewers. We hope you find you all well in good health. Today we feel so much elated to be with you here talking about the future of education. We start from the history, going through the changes which occurred in the educational system up until today, where we have got the digitalized world, online education. Yeah.
That's Salim for you here. He's going to dig deep into the issues surrounding online education in the current or in the 21st century. I am Tendayi Kasamba, your host, who is broadcasting live on our Digital Campus podcast. So, Salim, can you delve a little bit into the history of or the evolution of online education?
Okay, basically, this topic is really a topic which is interesting about education. Sometimes you ever thought to yourself that what is education? How did education start? Basically, I think the first step towards the approaching this topic to know that education is as old as humanity. As old as humanity. The first human beings who were there on earth, they were the first ones to learn how to live on earth. But okay, on a much philosophical perspective, I think history dates back as far as ancient civilizations, Mesopotamia, Egypt and Kush, where education by that time, it was usually reserved for the elites, for the clergy, for religious purposes, for the priests and for the priestesses. Those were the people who used to go and acquire knowledge. But the knowledge which they used to acquire, it was usually religious knowledge and not even academic and stuff like that. It was language, poetry and stuff like that. And then as times evolved, we started to notice that a lot of things started to come about, and there were a lot of needs. And then that's when we came to this a period of rationality, where there was philosophy, and there was it was still concentrated on religious knowledge, but there was now philosophy. Yeah, that was the time of monasticism, when people used to learn much about religion. Like, for example, in the medieval era, when there was the Islamic golden age, that's when we found that the Muslim world initially, there was so much study into philosophy, so much study into a little bit of science and stuff, but it was mainly around this area of religion, because even philosophy was being studied in the mosques. That's how it used to happen. And then as time went on, we came to a very interesting part now, which is what do you call this part of industrialization, which started. Modern industrialization started in Great Britain, because it didn't start in Great Britain, industrialization as a whole, but this modern one, which we have now, is starting in Great Britain. So what happened is that there was now need for a workforce in the industries. So when there was need for a workforce in the industries, what did the capitalists do? The capitalists said, okay, we should make sure that there's education for everybody. That's when we saw that people are not going to school and stuff like that, so that they could cater for the needs of the powerful class to be a subservient workforce. That's from a Marxist perspective.
Okay, so we then saw the migration from the traditional education and education evolving over time.
Up until we come today.
Until today,
Yeah.
where we are seeing people now, they are enrolling online, they are taking various programs online.
Yeah.
Everything is done online. Hence the need for us to discuss the issues surrounding digital campus, where people do not necessarily meet and gather and hold lectures, but they will do that digitally. We are now living in the digital era. So does the digital era or online education have some benefits to the to today's people who are living today?
Wow, that's really very interesting, very great. Of course, for everything there are advantages and disadvantages.
Okay.
The same applies to digital education. I mean, this online education thing.
Yes, yes.
So nowadays we got online education where you can go online and then you log in and then you find. I mean, there's a plethora of knowledge, on the internet. There's a plethora. There is everything. Okay, a myriad.
Everything.
There's a myriad of
Everything is
education.
there.
Almost everything you want. Every book that's been published is there. So what comes? I mean, what advantages come with this? Because when we have this kind of situation, it means that everybody else is no longer restricted by those things which used to restrict them during that era of traditional education, whereby you need to go to school to pay and go to school, or you need to buy textbooks, which cost a hell lot of money.
For example, lot of money.
Exactly.
Yes.
For example, when we were at high school, we used to do Cambridge education. One textbook, one Cambridge textbook, it cost. The cheap ones from about $40-50 going up. One textbook. Remember,
$50.
$50 for a textbook.
Yeah.
Just one textbook. Not even. You're doing 9 subjects. How much do you need? I think
That's something like $450.
exactly. It's a lot of money, right? So, but now because of this online thing, you no longer need to go and buy the books. What you need to do is just to go online. You log in and then you read from online or you download. And surprisingly nowadays there are people, like, how can I say, good-hearted people, or what? Those who are making those websites whereby they can just, they've created some codes and they've taken those books which when you go on Amazon or any other online shopping website, you have to buy them, like to purchase them on Amazon. There's for example, there's this famous website. It's called oceanofpdf.com, where you find almost everything that's been published, almost every book that's been published. Yet when you go on Amazon, you're going to buy it. When you go in somewhere else, you're going to buy it. So basically, you see the advantages come with this. Like personally, if I want to read, I just go online and then I just take something and read it. I don't need to go to school. And again, the other thing that, because of online education, what do we see? We can see that today you can learn from home. For example, those people doing their postgrad, their masters, their whatever. You can learn. You can.
No, even those who are doing undergrad.
Exactly.
I think doing it.
You can graduate at Oxford University while in Zimbabwe.
While
It's very
in
beautiful.
Zimbabwe.
Like personally, me, I've pursued some courses online courses in a little bit of psychology, a little bit of sociology, business management, and all those things
Online.
And also, I'm learning languages online. For example, this Duolingo. I actually learned a little bit of French there, and I've learned Arabic there on Duolingo, and I'm learning Swahili. That's it's evolving. I no longer need to go to France so that I can learn French, or to go to school so I can learn French. It's now very good for everybody.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Our viewers there, you are hearing Salim here saying you can be in France whilst you are in Zimbabwe. You are in your rural areas in Uzumba, in Mrewa, in Mount Darwin. You can actually be doing your courses online. Degree courses from UK, from America, from Australia, whilst you are in Marambavungwe. So that's very possible. We are discussing digital campus here, where you can now interact with those other students who will be studying in UK whilst you are in Marambavungwe. So digital campus is very important in today's generation. What else can you say about online education?
Online education, I've seen one of the things which which is really mind-boggling. The advantage is that I think nowadays when people are disadvantaged, those who are physically disadvantaged, sometimes they cannot afford to go to school. For example, at university here, they can't afford to be going to school. Like maybe a wheelchair. They don't have a wheelchair. They don't have somebody to take them to school. Nobody to drive them. And a wheelchair is expensive. I think you know that it's really mind-breaking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a very important thing. Point
now
there.
they can learn at school. They can, they can learn at home. While the lecturer is at home or at school. I don't know, whatever. And there's this thing called Google Classes. For example, I think from an economic perspective, usually the modern economy is growing, and the workforce is reducing. So we don't have enough workforce to cater for the economy. For example, now the educational system, as much as we have a lot of people pursuing education and more schools opening, more universities opening, what do we have now? What do we have happening? We've got a limited amount of teachers, of lecturers. So now we end up attending some lectures. Through an online, through Google Classes. So I think it's an advantage, right? Because we no longer need to wait for the lectures that we can learn. Now we can just go online. We can learn what the lecturer is somewhere down there or somewhere up there while he's having coffee and you're in the comfort of your home. You're learning. I think that's better, because now education is no longer being hampered because of distance, because of resources. All you need, of course, there are some disadvantages. For example, all you need is just your gadgets and your internet. Yeah.
And your internet. If you are following us, our viewers, he highlighted a very important issue here, the issue of addressing the issues to do with physical disabilities. So if you are listening, please, those people living with the disabilities, this is the opportunity for you to enroll for online education, to go for online degrees, to go for online short courses, so that you develop your skills according to the needs and the whatever you want to fulfill in your life. So I think this online thing can address quite a number of issues. Even if those who you are at home, probably you are a housewife, but you want to study, it is possible for you to enroll for an online program. Then you can do your chores. After that, you attend your lectures.
Yeah.
After your lectures, you continue. You'll be looking after your children and so forth. But if you come at university, it means there is another side that is suffering. So it's quite an important thing for everyone to embrace the digital era, to embrace online education. The issue of flexibility.
Flexibility.
Yes.
Yeah, I think online education, right, is much more flexible compared to the traditional type of education, whereby you had to go to school. For example, just imagine we have a limited amount of tertiary education, tertiary learning institutions in Zimbabwe, for example. We can't say we've got a lot of them, because we've got maybe one, for example, in MSC's got about 25,000 students, right? Thereabout, something like that, right? I'm not really sure. I mean, it's very certain about the numbers, but I think it's about 25,000, and stuff like that. And we've got a limited number of lecturers per se, right?
Yes.
So if there is something called online education, I can literally start my online institute.
Yes.
Institution, actually, my online institution. I can start it, and then some people can pursue their degrees. For example, there are those universities or colleges which offer degrees. Usually from the West, just online. Just online.
Yes.
That's really flexible, because you can do it when you're anywhere. And
anyway.
So, I think we've got these economic issues and stuff, and we have to work, and so you can be going to work at the same time you're at work. You are learning, you are doing your assignments, you are researching while you're sitting in the comfort of your office. That's really flexibility. But when you look at this now, I think there's something which is a kind of a disadvantage. Why? Because if you look at the network grid, right, it's concentrated in the rural areas. But if you go to the, it's concentrated in the urban areas.
In the urban areas,
but if you go to the rural areas, you find that sometimes usually there is no access to internet. For example, I went to this area. It's just down there, beyond civilization. You go there, you even struggle to get a network for you to just make a call. You have to go climb a tree, this angle, that angle. You go on top of a mountain, And so, just imagine if you're somewhere there and then you need to attend your online classes, you need to do this, which means your progress has been retarded. It becomes very problematic. That's the problem with flexibility. And sometimes the thing is like money. For you to be able to go online,
before you go for the issues surrounding money, we have got a new baby on the block, Starlink. And
exactly.
Starlink can you can access internet from anywhere. We are in rural areas, urban areas. Can you take that as an advantage and ensure people
personally, what I think is that Starlink has come maybe as some kind of a. Of course, it's something which is foreign, and we're working towards indigenization of our industries. But it has come with some advantages to the consumers, because usually the kind of network provider that we had, for example, Econet, Net1, Telecel, and stuff, they were not really producing the best out of out of what they can give to the people. For example, they were charging high tariffs. For example, they were not giving just this fast and this reliable kind of internet. Just imagine sometimes you need to go online. It's very exciting to call somebody. You need to do an assignment, and then the internet is, the network is tripping. Sometimes Econet network does it, or Net1 network does it, but and actually recharging it, it's actually expensive compared to our to this thing, Elon Musk thing, the Starlink.
The Starlink.
Because Starlink, when I was, I think the price, if I'm not mistaken, the prices, they were saying that the equipment cost about 250, right? Or 350?
200.
I don't know, 200.
They've got two packages.
Yeah.
The standard one is going for 300.
Yeah.
And the mini is going for 200.
Exactly. Then for you...
Then you pay monthly subscriptions
$50
of
or
$50 or $30.
You see, just imagine, for
Unlimited.
$50 unlimited. Just imagine.
Unlimited.
If you want unlimited, I think Net1 unlimited, it costs for about 140
something.
unlimited Wi-Fi. It's about 140 or something, compared to $50 at high speed. And I found something really mind-boggling. The speed of Starlink is 200 megabytes per second. 200 megabytes per second. That's not a joke.
It's not a joke.
Just imagine, you're downloading this kind of, for example, you're downloading Game of Thrones. You just need 5 minutes for you to download it, then you're done.
You're done.
You don't need to stress and stuff like that. Compared to this, maybe our network, which is around 50 megabytes per second, and it's really slow, not reliable, and stripping. So I think Starlink is an advantage for us, but I think Starlink has provided a ground for competition, because I think some of our network providers, for example, Net1, Econet, there's some kind of a monopoly. So they didn't face some competition, right? So it made them to relax. Now, because there's now a big guy in the room, now there's competition. You see, competition means they are going to be forced to make sure they do some changes and make sure that they provide the best of what they can provide. I think so. That's an advantage.
So it's an advantage really for you, our viewers there. Even if you are in rural areas, Starlink can have a perfect internet connectivity, and you won't miss anything when you are in your class. So I think online education is the way to go. There are some issues surrounding enrollment, online education. If universities, if institutions of higher learning go for online programs, there's a possibility of increasing their enrollment.
Yeah. If they just go for online, let's say online education, online classes, the enrollment is going to increase, obviously, because there's no limitations, like clear limitations of
terms
numbers,
of geography,
and all those things.
Someone from Sudan
can just be learning at MSU.
Yes.
Somebody from America can be learning at MSU. Somebody from Mars can be learning at MSU.
Yeah. That's
exactly.
True. That's true.
So I think enrollment will be increased, and then we'll be having so many. I think we've got a shortage of schools. I think so, because we can't be having a lot of thousands of people. Some people maybe 200 in a class. I think there's an advantage of that.
Because if you look at the digital education system, when we look at the West, the developed countries, right now as we speak, in America alone, they are having over 2 million students.
Yes.
In America alone.
Yes.
Who are doing online programs.
Yes.
If we go to UK, over 1 million are enrolled for online programs, not face-to-face.
Online programs.
Can't we go that route?
Yeah. We can go that route, but obviously there's still need for us to... We are a developing nation.
Yes,
and
yes.
with time, obviously, I think we should stop comparing ourselves that much to those people because they started, I think, a long time ago before we started. But I think with time, I think nowadays in our country, we're witnessing other people who are doing online programs. Though the number is still limited, we're still stuck into this traditional learning. Yeah, traditional learning is good. There are advantages and disadvantages, but I think we're also heading towards that direction where we're going to be having, because more and more people are coming. Graduates, sure. More and more people. So there's going to be pressure, and that pressure is going to force universities to do something about online education, just like what happened in America and Great Britain.
Yeah, even here in Zimbabwe, I think we did partially part of online education during the COVID-19 era.
Exactly, yeah.
Most universities were conducting their lessons online.
Even high schools.
Yeah. So I think, yes, you highlighted an important issue concerning the issue of development. We are still developing. We are not yet developed. But I think for now, we can adopt a hybrid system where we can now encompass the advantages of traditional and the advantages of online. Then we come up with a hybrid system where we can then say, if you want to come to university, you can come for 2 weeks.
Yes.
You have face-to-face interactions with lecturers. Yes. Then you go home.
Yeah.
I think that will be also advantageous for for the working class, even for those with financial difficulties. Because someone from same Rewa would want to come and study at MSU, but he's going to think of tuition fees, he's going to think of traveling, he's going to think of accommodation, he's going to think of feeding. Yeah. So I think online education will address that.
Yeah. Personally, I also think that, for example, if we're talking about these theoretical things, I think it's not really that practical to take only one route, one theoretical route.
Yes.
What we have to do is to create a blend. We blend them. We make a hybrid of these systems.
Yes.
For example, what they're doing with the postgrads, they say that they come for 2 weeks and then they learn. Because the advantage with traditional education that I think people, we've got different modes of concentration. I mean, different ways in which we can concentrate. For example, there are people like me, whereby I need to see a teacher in front of me telling me that, Salim, you have to do this and this and this and this and this, explaining to me like a baby. That's what I want. And then the other people are just, these people are brilliant, intellectually brilliant.
Yes.
Just need to just go on YouTube, get some tutorials, just 1, 2, 3, boom, they're done. You understand?
They're done.
Yeah, so I think the advantage is that if you have a face-to-face interaction with your lecturers, you can get to learn a lot, which, I mean, there are non-verbal cues, you can, communication comes through different ways. Non-verbal cues, they play about over 50% of our communication. I think scholars, they say that. Mm-hmm. So I think there will be advantage with you meeting with your lecturers. Why? Because you have to ask questions. Mm-hmm. Like, there are those crazy questions that you need to ask directly.
Those
crazy questions.
I have taken note of the directly part of it. Because even online you can ask questions.
But it's not
directly. And monitoring the
non-verbal cues, the reactions, exactly.
It will help you understand.
Exactly. Because there are some things which cannot be explained entirely with words.
Yes.
Exactly. You need to see the teacher doing, he goes like, exactly, non-verbal cues. I think you have to do something like that. So you have to create a blend so that people, you have to meet with the lecturers, get some in-classes, and then the other advantage with meeting in person is that you get to, for example, in terms of your assignments and your tests and stuff like that. I think doing your tests at home can be quite problematic. Why? Because what happens is this, you can be cheating. Mm-hmm. It's easier for you to cheat. For example, when they open this online portal where they give you time for you to write your exam, I can be like, okay, I can take another gadget, or I can sit with you, and then you take another gadget, you go online, and then I'll be telling you the questions, you search, and then you tell me the answer. Then I write. You search, I read the answer, I write. Then the exam is 3 hours. After that, we're done. You go.
And you get
150%. So, but now if you say everybody's going to sit in the wall, in the hall and write and sit for the exam, no phone, no internet, no what, just you, pen and paper. We're going to test you on your knowledge.
Yeah, but I think that can be addressed.
Yeah.
The issue of writing online tests.
Yes.
can't we shift, probably substituting assignments within classes?
Exactly. I was actually the other day I was actually thinking about this. I was like, okay, no. I think I was like, okay, if I become a professor or a lecturer,
That's our future lecturer.
exactly, a future professor.
Yes.
If I become a future professor or lecturer, I would never let my students go and write an assignment at home. Period.
You will not
I would
accept.
never do that. Why I do that? When I like them, when I would like to assess them, I would make them come, sit in class, and then give them their assessment there, and then I'll make
answer-
sure nobody's copying. I'll be looking at them, guarding them like this. Yeah, exactly. What I'll be doing, because we are students and we know this. We can go home, use AI, because nowadays, because of this artificial intelligence thing, people no longer they read. Unlike our fathers. Our fathers used to be data blasters, moving textbooks, moving libraries. They used to read a lot. Nowadays, people no longer read. Just go online, copy and paste. You give him an assignment or they have a presentation. They just go on Google, on Poe or Chat GPT. Tell him, instruct him what to do, and then he just gives you a whole paragraph, something. You go, you paraphrase it, blah 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 blah, 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 and then
done.
boom,
It submits.
he submits, and then he gets,
And you as
100%.
a lecturer will be marking
You
AI.
my students, and they're knowing, but actually, they're creating a false reality. So I think for the betterment of because in the future, what I think is that we're going to create a whole generation of these people, docile people with no knowledge whatsoever, empty vessels.
Right, you're watching Digital Campus, where we are exploring the future of education here in Zimbabwe and across the globe. Keep sending your comments. Please send your comments so that we hear what your perspectives, what you are thinking about this online thing. Can we go for online full throttle, or we can blend the education system so that we merge traditional education with online education? Please keep sending your messages, keep sending your comments. You can comment on our platform. You can send your comments as well on our WhatsApp platform, 0712 525061. Please keep on sending those messages. And professor vari kubvira manje kana vakudzidzisa handisi kuzodzoka handisi kuuya kuchikoro ikoko. Right. Keep sending your messages and kuaona messages enyu anzi mustudio muri kubvira mabvirire chaiwo arambai makabata ipapo. Yes, ndiri kuzvinzwa but yeah, anzi online education chibaba. It will limit my costs and expenses.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of my costs, my expenses, it will limit. But honestly, remember, it also comes with the disadvantage. Yeah, what do you call this? Digital device. There's something called digital device, whereby not everybody's got access to these gadgets. For example, these laptops, MacBooks, and stuff like that. People, I think. Some of us are poorer than the others.
Yes,
for example, statistics say that most people in Africa they have no access to internet, right? Other, here in Zimbabwe at least it's better. But if you go to other countries there are people who are suffering. Honestly.
So we are a little bit developed.
A little bit developed
developing
exactly.
African nations.
We're developed than other. Though we are developing. Yes.
All right, Salim.
Yeah.
Where do you see us? If we adopt this online education, where do you see us in the next 10 or so years? As a nation?
As a nation, I think...
Can we go for online education?
We can go for it, right? Because it will increase literacy rates.
Yes.
Because most people are now getting easy access to knowledge. So, people become innovative, Yeah, it depends how you use your online platform. For example, if you check people's of FYPs, for example, if you go and check my FYPs on TikTok and Instagram, most of the things which I'll be watching there is either they are these beneficial things, science, psychology, history and stuff, and I've learned a lot online. On YouTube, instead of watching people dancing, making these, pranks, skits and stuff, you can be learning. For example, they're talking about the Chinese version of TikTok. They're saying that most of the things which will be showing up there is science, it's history. So that's why you see those people, they're already developed when they grow up.
Yeah,
we can do that. We can manipulate ours and do that.
That's it. So, your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is that I think as humanity, we have to embrace change. We have to embrace online education with caution.
with
Yeah.
caution.
Yeah. I think if you master that, I think everything will be okay. You
Embracing.
should know that knowledge is important for you. You're not cheating anybody. You're not cheating the lecturer. You're not cheating anybody. It's for your betterment.
It's just for your betterment there. So you were watching our digital campus podcast where we were exploring the future of education, the current trends we are witnessing in the 21st century. What do you say? Do you go for online education, or you would rather stick to traditional education? Till we meet again in episode 2, it's bye-bye for now.
Bye bye.